Wales are one of those nations that seem to be able to put it together when they get to a Rugby World Cup. Over the years, they've not missed a Rugby World Cup, first of all, but they've had some fairly impressive performances. They were 13, 1987. They made it to fourth in the 2011 and 2019 versions of the World Cup. And then at the last World Cup, they finished or made it to the quarterfinals. If you look at the overall record in the World Cup as well, it is fairly impressive. They've played 49 games, of which they've won 30. So that is a record of just over 61% in terms of the wins that they've amassed. When you look at how they've fallen in the Six Nations in recent years, it would be a little shocking to think that as recently as 2019 and 2021, they were actually the champions in the Six Nations. During 2019, they were also in the second position in the world rankings. And they were actually absolutely on top of European rugby. If you look back at the Five Nations before and you combine that with the Six Nations, they are actually equal with England on the total number of victories where they won the whole tournament. So both of them have won it 39 times over the years. If you look back to when they first started playing rugby in 1881, uh, it is actually quite interesting to see that they've literally beaten every single rugby playing nation that they've played against over the years. The last hurdle that they had to overcome was in 1999 when they beat the Springboks for the first time. The Welsh team has also produced some absolute legends over the years. If you just have a look at Alan Wynne Jones, who has the most caps of any Welsh player, uh, it is truly impressive. He played for Wales a total of 158 times. Then Neil Jenkins is the absolute top scorer at 1,049 points. And as a South African, I can tell you it was always horrible playing against him because if you knew there was a penalty coming, it was almost certain that there was going to be 3 points on the board. He was just absolutely lethal. And of course, Shane Williams would have been the top try scorer at 58 during his career. And between those three, they have really held up a lot of what Welsh rugby has been known for in the past 2 decades. With the new batch of players, it is really going to help immensely for them to start really building up a new team and for them to grow from strength to strength. I know it's got nothing to do with rugby, but you could see that actually happening and being very successful for Arsenal over the past couple of years. They were flogged again and again for a couple of years, and they're probably going to win the Premier League this year because they built up their young squad and they went through the steps to actually get to an exit. The Wales have been on a absolutely horrible run, but with people like Dewey Lake actually leading the charge, I would not be surprised if they really start peaking again when it gets to the 2027 World Cup. True that they're not in a great place at the moment. They're sitting 11th in the world rankings at the moment, but that will definitely be changing over the coming months. And I think a year from now, we're going to have a totally different picture of what Wales can do. They've been showing some interesting signs of improvement in recent weeks, and their win over Italy has been one of the biggest highlights for them. With those players in their 20s, they must just make sure that they find the right combinations and that they find people who can actually get them into those winning positions. Taking players like Louis Rees-Emmett and the experience that he's picked up from the NFL, where he's picked up some bulk and he's better at breaking the line. For example, just making sure that you get him into positions where he gets the ball very close to the line in terms of just breaking through the opposition. He'd be able to gain you valuable meters on a regular basis. If they keep evolving their setup and they keep up that intensity that they showed towards the end of the Six Nations, they will be one that you'd need to take seriously going into the next World Cup. Might not win the whole thing, but I think along with England, they're probably going to go through uh, to the quarterfinals. When you have a look at the other two teams in their group, Tonga and Zimbabwe, Tonga and Zimbabwe will probably fight each other for the third position, but they're not likely to dethrone Wales in that run to the quarterfinal. Steve Tandy is their head coach. He's only been there for about a year and a half, 2 years, uh, but he leads an all Wales cast in terms of their coaching staff. And with that, I think they might be able to actually imprint the Welsh DNA in a very healthy way for that team. That will really help to set them up and move them in the right direction so that they are able to grow again and really become a force in world rugby. These games during the middle of the year would be interesting to watch, but then it would also be interesting to see the end of year tours and then as they get into the Six Nations next year, how they perform. think it's going to be a totally different Welsh team.